Beautiful, beautiful. Since it is Fifth Sunday, we're going to do it a little differently today. And I need to be able to see these slides. So a while ago, I came across this book suggested by a friend, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. And to the first glance, it might look like a children's book, but don't tell anybody. It's for adults, okay? Yeah. It's a lesson for the ages about friendship and kindness and love. And it's a story about a boy and a mole and a fox and a horse. And in the beginning, the mole says, "I am so small." To which the boy replies, "But yes, you make a huge difference." And over the years, I've said time and time again, until I think people are maybe a little tired of hearing it, that fifth principle that these young ones say, "I make a difference," is true for each and every one of us. And I've often said that the world is waiting here and now for each of us, each of you, in just how you express that divine that is you. And I look at all of you, and your faces are different, your shapes are different, and your love is different. Your love is expressed uniquely as you. Your compassion and kindness and generosity is expressed in very unique and wonderful ways, as only you can. Now, there are people who are waiting for compassion and kindness and love and generosity. And I don't give it the way you do. They're waiting for your expression. And you remember that, each and every one of you. Your gifts are so important to the world. Whatever it is you give it in a unique way. And the world needs you to be aware of your divinity, to be aware of, as Jackson said in that beautiful meditation, that love and God are expressing as you. So we often compare ourselves. We sometimes think, "Oh, I'm too young, I'm too old, I'm too small," like the mole did. Or maybe when I get a different education, I can do and be. But the fact is, we are plenty. We are enough. We are all the goodness that the world needs right now, today. There's nothing that we need to do to make ourselves more. We are perfect right here and now. And if we can just remember that divinity in us, and if we can live and shine from that, that's all the world wants from us, is our love. Just like we want love from the world. We want compassion and kindness and friendship from the world, right? Who doesn't want that? Is there anybody? Yes, we all want that. So when we show up as what we want and need and give that to the world cannot help but give it back to us. That's that law of circulation. Around and around it goes. And that is the unity principle. Say it with me. I am naturally good because God's divinity is in me and in everyone. Yes, and that's what makes us enough. So the boy and the mole continue their friendship, and the boy asks the mole, "Do you have a favorite saying, a mantra, or something that you always say?" And the mole said, "Yes, I do." So the boy asked, "What is it?" To which the mole replies, "If at first you don't succeed, have some cake." Yes, if at first you don't succeed, have some cake. Now, I don't know about you, but cake is its own food group, and I have never met a cake that I didn't like. Yes, so if anything's going awry, have some cake. And you know what that means? Everybody laughed when I've read those words. Have a little laughter. Don't take ourselves or life so darn seriously. Make time to laugh. Do you have a laugh buddy? Do you have somebody that you laugh with? No? No? Do you laugh together? Yes. Find somebody to laugh with, and you can spontaneously laugh. You don't have to hear a funny joke or a funny story. You can just laugh. I bet you can do that right now. Somebody's back there laughing already. You can laugh. Didn't you ever see? Yes, there you are. You can laugh spontaneously. You don't have to have a reason. And then the boy and the mole, they meet the fox. And they have a great conversation. And they come to the idea that one of our greatest freedoms is how we react to things. Sometimes we react in wild ways. Do you ever react in wild ways where you're yelling? You do, yes. Where we're yelling and throwing a fit and having a temper tantrum. It might look when we're really young like stomping our feet, and as we get older, it might look like pouting. Walking away. Yes. You have a temper tantrum? When you do? Yeah. Yeah. We all have ways that we react when things don't go our way, and we always have a choice. And that takes us to our third unity principle. Say it with me. I create my experiences, but I choose to think and what I feel and I believe. We get to choose our thoughts. When we talk about the story of creation, and after creation, God gave us humans dominion over all of the animals that walk the earth, the birds that fly across the skies, and the fish that swim in the sea. We were given dominion over that. And when we look at that from a metaphysical understanding, we understand that those creatures that walk and fly and swim represent various forms and stages of our thinking, stages of thinking that are being growing and expanding. So we are given dominion over all the animals of the earth, which means we are given dominion over all the thoughts we hold. So what are you thinking? Yeah. We get to choose what we think. You're on summer break now. Yes, you're happy about that, huh? But you've come from classrooms of teachers. You've had opinions about teachers and fellow students and homework and all of that. And we as an adult have had opinions about everything, because we make opinions about everything. We discern it to be good or bad or right or wrong or shouldn't happen or maybe should happen more. We make opinions about it all. And we have charge over what we think. Nobody can cause us to think anything that we're not willing to think. How about that? So that thought of judging the other that's gnawing at me all day, every day, that judgment about them, when I set aside those thoughts and realize there is no them, there is only we. There is only us. There is only one humanity. I can put all of that aside, and I can trust that things work for good. We create our experiences by what we think and what we feel, and we see evidence of that, don't you? Yes, we see evidence of that every day. Now, the boy and the mole and the fox made friends with the horse. And the mole tells them that I learned how to be in the present. Yes. How? Asked the boy. I find a quiet spot and shut my eyes and breathe. That's good. And then what? And then I focus. Well, what do you focus on? The boy asked the mole. What do you think the mole said? Cake. Focus on cake. But that's a good thing. And then there's our unity principle. Say it with me. Through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in my life. Then the boy and the mole and the fox and the horse, they start talking about really important things: kindness, forgiveness, and love. I can't think of anything more important in the world than those things. How about you? And the mole tells his friends, being kind to yourself is one of the greatest kindnesses, said the mole. So how are you kind to yourself? What is one thing that you do for yourself that's kind for you? Sleep. Uh-huh. Yeah. Eat. That's right. That's have fun. Yes. Go ahead, Jojo. You read. That's a beautiful thing to do, to be kind to yourself. Sometimes we forget to be kind to ourselves, right? We have to remember to be kind to us first. Because when we learn how to be kind to ourselves, then that kindness overflows. It can't help but overflow to others. And guess what happens? When we're kind to someone else, they fill up with kindness. Oh my, and then their kindness overflows to the next person, and they fill up with kindness, and kindness is spread. Wouldn't that be wonderful if our world was just overflowing with kindness? And then they talk about forgiveness. Often the hardest person to forgive is yourself, said the boy. So is there anything that you've done or doing or saying or thinking that you'd like to forgive yourself for? Anything that you think? Maybe if you have a brother or sister or a friend that you used unkind words with, maybe we could say, I'm sorry. Yes. And we know that forgiveness is a practice. Forgiveness as a daily practice is what Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore did. He scanned his day from the beginning to the end and noticed any places where he felt affronted by another person, or perhaps where he had affronted someone, and he practiced forgiveness. And there's many ways to forgive. And in our Bible, we are told a very simple, logical way to forgive. And when the disciples asked Jesus, how often should I forgive my brother? Shall I forgive him 7 times? I just imagine Jesus laughing. No, my friends, he said, forgive 70 times 7. And for us, that means 7 is completion. So forgive until there's nothing left to forgive. So it's really simple practice, 70 times a day, say or write, I lovingly forgive so-and-so. And I practiced that. And what I found was after I forgave the person I thought affronted me, it was really me that needed the forgiveness. So I forgave myself for having a judgmental thought. I forgave myself for using words that weren't always kind or loving or helpful. I forgave myself for actions that were the same, not helpful. Then my forgiveness was complete. Then I could feel gratitude, and that's how I knew my forgiveness was complete, when I felt gratitude for the experience with the person. But oftentimes, forgiving ourselves is the most difficult. We can practice that. And then the friends go on to talk about love. "We don't know about tomorrow," said the horse. "All we need to know is that we love each other." If that's the only thing in this world that we knew, that we love each other. So think of all the people in your world that you love. Let the faces come to your mind. Think of their names. Pause throughout the day to think of your friends and your family with love, and how that shifts your energy, how that shifts the energy of the whole world. Well, the friends go on to say, "Sometimes I want to say I love you all," said the mole, "but I find it difficult." Do you ever find it hard to tell somebody that you love them? "Do you?" said the boy. "Yes, so I say something like this: I'm glad that we're all together." "Okay," said the boy, "I'm glad that we're all here together. We're all so glad we're here too." Find ways to say you love someone with your kindness, with your compassion, and with your generosity. So the end of their conversation, the boy said, "So you know all about me?" "Yes," said the horse. "And you still love me?" "We love you all the more," said his friends. "Sometimes we think that we might not be deserving of great love, but we can remember that God loves us no matter what. And a priest once told me that when we stand before the face of God, all that God sees is our goodness." Let that sink in. That takes my breath away to know that when the divine source of all that is looks at me, my goodness is what is seen. Your goodness is what is seen. And that's all we need to know. So that's the story of the boy, the mole, the fox, and the horse.